Welcome to Tundra Energy Marketing Limited. Tundra Energy Marketing Limited, or TEML, is a wholly owned business of Winnipeg-based James Richardson & Sons Limited, a private family company established in 1857. James Richardson & Sons is a multidisciplinary enterprise with operations in agriculture, food processing, financial services, property management, energy exploration, and energy marketing. Tundra Energy Marketing Limited is a growing midstream company which markets oil by rail and pipelines using state-of-the-art instrumentation and technology. Our facilities are located in southwest Manitoba and in the southern region of Saskatchewan. Field offices are located in Estevan, Saskatchewan and Cromer, Manitoba. TEML's head office is in Calgary, Alberta.
Hello and welcome to Tundra Energy Marketing. My name is Brian Lancaster and I want to talk to you about our strong responsibility to everyone working on our facilities. This responsibility includes keeping our employees, contractors, public, and the environment safe. Safety and environmental management are core values practiced throughout our company. To this end, many of our company practices and expectations exceed government requirements. We believe that incidents are preventable, and through a teamwork approach with our contractors, these high standards can be achieved. If you have not completed a Tundra Energy Marketing safety orientation for the current year, you will not be allowed to work at a Tundra Energy facility. This video will explain why safety and the environment are high priorities. Please listen carefully.
At Tundra Energy Marketing, it is our responsibility to provide you with a safe working environment and to make sure you have the information you need when visiting our site. It is your responsibility to follow the workplace safety and health regulations as well as all regulations set forth by TEML. All incidents and near misses must be reported immediately. If you are a contractor working on our site, your supervisor will need to report the incident direct to a TEML safety representative or TEML permit issuer. TEML reserves the right to take part in the investigation to ensure that similar situations do not happen again. The health and welfare of all employees will benefit if we work together and share these responsibilities. It is important to us that all workers and truck drivers entering onto TEML sites to do work are qualified to perform the tasks they are assigned. In addition to driving qualifications for a truck driver, all workers shall require an approved and accredited standard first aid certificate and minimum level C CPR, H2S Alive, Workplace Hazardous Materials Information System, Transportation of Dangerous Goods, TDG, and PST, NFORMS Petroleum Safety Training. Additional certificates may be required depending on your nature of work, such as ground disturbance, fall arrest, confined space certification, and others. We need your help to ensure that the workplace stays safe. For that reason, there are universal rules that must be obeyed. Horseplay is strictly prohibited. No use of drugs or alcohol will be tolerated, and smoking is only permitted in designated areas. The use of medication or mood-altering agents, including those prescribed by a doctor, which in any way will adversely affect your ability to work safely, is prohibited. All workers and truck drivers are expected to remain clean-shaven in the area on the face where a good seal can be maintained by respiratory protective equipment or resuscitator. Hooded apparel is not allowed on any TEML site. Hair must be confined or worn as to prevent snagging, contact with moving or rotating parts, or obstruction of vision. The same standards apply to wearing loose or torn clothing, necklaces, or other jewelry. Please do not loiter in the buildings or on site. At the truck terminal, for everyone's safety, absolutely no truck tank venting on site. Workers must be vigilant to avoid the risk of injury to themselves or others. We depend on you to ensure that these rules are followed at all times. Even with this commitment, hazards do exist. Incidents can occur if individuals fail to focus on safety. We rely on you to help us identify possible hazards, whether they be physical, chemical, environmental, or behavioral. Our facilities handle crude oil, butane, chemicals, and other hazardous materials. Contractors may be using or be exposed to hazardous substances at the job site. Canada has regulatory requirements to provide information on hazardous products used by all workers. Read the material safety data sheets to understand each product's risks and to know the personal protective equipment that is required when handling hazardous substances. Containers must be properly labeled, stored, and transported. Each TEML facility has its own material safety data sheets, and the MSDS binder is located at our main facilities. Keep areas clean and free of trip hazards and debris. Good housekeeping habits reflect a well-managed worksite. By doing so, equipment and tools can be used according to their potential, making work and storage space more efficient. All equipment and tools shall comply with government regulations and company health and safety requirements. Tools and equipment shall be regularly inspected and maintained in a safe operating condition. Tools and equipment shall be used to perform the function for which they are intended or designed for. Trucking companies, independent drivers, and contractors are required to supply all personal protective equipment required by their employees or self, including your outer layer to be CSA fire-retardant clothing, CSA hard hat, CSA or ANSI safety glasses or prescription safety glasses, steel-toed CSA safety boots, gloves, and a personal gas monitor. To work on a TEML site, you will also be required to wear a Class 2 high visibility vest or Class 3 coveralls. All equipment and clothing must be in suitable condition and fit properly. Please remember, no hooded apparel on site. In cold weather, a hard hat liner is the preferred insulation under your hard hat. However, a thin balaclava or beanie is also acceptable. Your safety is our concern, and in the event of an emergency, the best defense is to be well prepared. In the event of an emergency such as an oil spill, gas release, or fire, all work shall be stopped immediately. If safe to do so, drivers and workers must shut off their equipment, note the wind direction, and walk to the safest muster point. There are several muster points at each facility, and moving crosswind of an oil spill, gas release, or fire will assist in keeping you safe. Once at the muster point, assess the situation. Ensure that everyone is safe, including you. Do not re-enter any areas until authorized to do so by a TEML representative or emergency responder. Rescue and treat any injured persons as soon as it is safe, but do not move a seriously injured person unless their life is in danger. If TEML has not yet been contacted, contact a TEML representative as soon as you are able. After the incident, do not disturb the incident site until advised by a TEML representative. In the event of an oil spill, control the release. Shut off equipment and contain further spreading. Report immediately to TEML supervision or safety. All personnel involved are obligated to complete witness statements and contribute to an incident report. All personal injuries, incidents, identified hazards, property damage, near misses, and environmental releases should be reported immediately. Near misses and identified hazards should be taken just as seriously as an accident or emergency, because if reported, they may help us avoid a more serious situation in the future. There are several fire extinguishers located around the TEML facilities. You can recognize their familiar red color and by this sign. Eyewash stations and first aid kits are also on the TEML facilities, and if used, must be documented and reported to your supervisor. A stretcher and AED along with SCBA are also located at the terminal sites. Each TEML terminal has windsocks for wind direction. Take note upon entering the site. You can also refer to the facility site safety plot plan, posted on the control room wall for reference. Contractors must provide first aid supplies in all their on-site work trailers, offices, and vehicles. Familiarize yourself with the Tundra 24-hour toll-free phone number, which is 1-844-333-6789. 911 also works in our operating areas, which will aid in dispatching police, fire, or ambulance assistance if you are asked to complete that task. Closed-circuit television systems are installed at Tundra Energy Marketing truck terminals and the rail loading facility. The external CCTV systems are installed to enhance the safety of the workers on site and for the purpose of site security and its associated equipment. Surveillance data may be used for the purposes of detecting or investigating incidents. TEML encourages pre-job planning meetings, safety meetings, inspections, reporting hazards, and conducting safety observations. You may be asked to participate in a truck audit or a loss prevention observation by a TEML worker. Contractors are expected to identify and implement controls during their pre-job planning meetings. As a contractor on site at TEML, safety meetings are to be held at least once per week or per shift and include all contractors' company personnel on site. This is to ensure that safe work practice and procedures pertinent to the particular phase of work are thoroughly understood. TEML employees, their contract operators, and Can-Do Rail Services will conduct their safety meetings on a monthly basis. A safe work permit is required for all work performed by contractor personnel, unless exempted by operations. It authorizes specific work for a specific time period. The permit ensures that you are familiar with known hazards in your work area and outlines precautions that must be taken to ensure the safety of all workers. A new safe work permit must be issued for each 12-hour period that the work continues, or if the scope of work or conditions affecting workers' safety or equipment changes from that original permit. Hot work permits are issued daily, and only non-hazardous work may have a permit issued for 1 week at a time. The contractor's hazard assessment must be included in their tailgate meeting and accompany the safe work permit during work activities. Permits must be signed off at the completion of work and returned to the TEML issuer. Additional permits may be required, such as confined space or ground disturbance. If in doubt, ask your TEML representative issuing the permit. A hot work permit is required in addition to your safe work permit when work activities have the potential for starting a fire or an explosion. Cutting, welding, pipeline repairs, grinding, and electrical work are other examples of when a hot work permit will be necessary. A confined space permit is also required in addition to a safe work permit when entry to an enclosed or partially enclosed area is necessary. These areas are not primarily designed or intended for human occupancy and may have a restricted means of entrance and exit. A contractor shall comply with government regulations and company requirements for confined space entry and must submit their procedure for entry and rescue to a TEML representative prior to start of confined space work. Ensure that workers are trained in confined space and qualified in hazard identification and assessment. A ground disturbance permit is also required in addition to your safe work permit when the work involves the use of powered mobile equipment and results in the earth being penetrated to a depth greater than 12 inches. Failure to follow safe procedures for excavations, trenching, and pile driving may result in cave-ins or contact with underground facilities. Before proceeding with any ground disturbance, clearances must be obtained, proper line locating completed, and permits done. Crews and supervisors must be properly trained for ground disturbance. Workers shall consider all electrical conductors to be energized unless the conductor is visibly isolated from the power supply, tested to confirm it is de-energized, and properly grounded. Many areas on TEML sites are hazardous, which means all devices with the ability to create arcing must be explosion-proof. Use of unauthorized electrical equipment, such as power tools, cell phones, and test equipment, is prohibited in these areas. All energized equipment to be cleaned, repaired, inspected, or physically altered must be shut down, locked out, tested, and tagged before commencing any work. Lockout procedures are required to prevent injury due to unplanned startup or movement of equipment. Any do not operate tags and padlocks on switchgear or equipment must only be removed by the person whose signature appears on the tag. Never assume that equipment is isolated and de-energized. Motor vehicle accidents are a major cause of injury and death in the oil and gas industry. We expect all truckers and workers to drive safe and obey all traffic laws while working for TEML. Please take note of the speed limit sign posted at the entrance, and remember seatbelts need to be worn while driving any motor vehicle. Riding outside of the motor vehicle is strictly prohibited. When in care and control of any motorized vehicle, stay alert to your surroundings and always use spotters while working in congested areas or close to facilities. Cell phone use is prohibited while driving and not allowed while unloading, loading cars, or anywhere out on site. Due care must be exercised when backing up. Vehicles that do not include backup alarms should sound the horn when backing up to alert nearby workers. Never park your truck in a manner that will block roads, gates, or in any way hinder access to firefighting or other emergency equipment. All liquids pumped by our pipeline system or hauled into our terminal must be considered toxic and flammable. Vapors and gases produced by these liquids may create breathing hazards as well as fire and explosion hazards. H2S is a killer and may be present in crude oil. Always wear your personal gas monitor or be within 20 feet of someone who has one. Typical symptoms associated with lower-level short-term exposure to any of these hazards include eye, nose and throat irritation, headaches, nausea, dizziness, drowsiness, and lack of coordination. Notify other workers in the area and immediately evacuate to a safe muster area upwind if you experience any of these symptoms. Immediately report any such occurrences to a TEML representative. Many of the Canadian rail operating rules will apply to the TEML rail loading facility. Because of restricted clearance between the loading rack and rail tracks, riding on the loading rack side of the cars is strictly prohibited. Stay alert and be prepared for train movement at any time. Always provide a 30-foot space or buffer when passing across the end of a rail car. This extra space will allow reaction time for your protection in the event that the rail car may unexpectedly move. Never walk on the rails and ensure that you are not crossing the tracks unless authorized to do so. Communicate to a TEML representative or can-do supervisor if you notice a condition that may affect the safe movement of a train or engine. Tundra Energy recognizes its responsibility to build and maintain a diverse, respectful workplace where all workers enjoy an environment of self-respect, dignity, and is free of harassment. Every worker can expect to be treated respectfully, and every worker has the responsibility to refrain from participating in behavior that is or could be perceived to be disrespectful in nature. In accordance with TEML's policies and government regulations, all workers shall adhere to its company's working alone policy, harassment and no violence policy, and respectful workplace policy, in addition to the no alcohol or drugs policy. Your cooperation in adhering to these policies is expected and appreciated.
At Tundra Energy Marketing, we understand that safety is more than mechanical safeguards. Safety is an attitude. It is expected of everyone that while you are working, you are not placing yourself, other workers, or the environment at risk. Asking questions and seeking clarification, along with pre-job planning and completing site inspections, will aid in avoiding the risks. Tundra does not expect nor allow anyone to work on our facilities without a clear understanding of job expectations and safety requirements. Remember, it is your right and responsibility to refuse unsafe work.
We need your cooperation in order to meet the safety standards set forth by the Manitoba Workplace Safety and Health Regulations, as well as the Workers' Compensation Board. Please familiarize yourself with these regulations to ensure that you are in compliance. Tundra has the right to request monthly statistics regarding manpower, hours worked, injuries, equipment damage, and training certifications from contractors and their employees. The contractor's person responsible for safety is expected to perform their own equipment inspections and to participate in joint inspections and audits with Tundra Energy. Tundra Energy Marketing Limited recognizes that every worker has a vital role to play in identifying, minimizing, and mitigating environmental impacts. Your cooperation in promptly reporting and cleaning up all spills, reducing waste and emissions wherever possible, and respecting the environment is imperative. Whether it's plant life, wildlife, soil, fresh water, or historical artifacts, in every aspect of our business together, we must work hard to preserve the natural balance of our land. If you have any questions regarding the information that has been provided here, please refer to your TEML HSSE handbook or speak directly to your Tundra Energy Marketing representative.
We ask for your commitment to successfully protect people and the environment. We want you home safe today and every day, so please work safe.